hopefully you're hearing me, at least most of the words. So my intentions, of course, are just to be here with comms and continue work with comms and maybe, whatever Lauren was just saying about other issues that need doing. Distractions are, it's, the usual for me. I've got kids next to me doing their thing that I have to supervise simultaneously. And I'll pass it to Sim because I know you don't have much time.
Thank you, Suga. Yeah, I only have a short time today. So my intentions are just to hear what some of the other issues that you were mentioning are on the board. I just want to give a summary of what we chatted about yesterday in the planning call, and a couple of issues that have come out of that. And then distractions. I've just got a plan for traveling, and that's the reason that I've got to be short. So I'm just also, my mind is a bit split today, but I'm going to make an effort to be focused. And that's it. So I'm going to pass to Todd.
Thanks, Sim. Hey, everyone. Yeah, excited to figure out how I can start moving along my issues in GitHub. I don't think I actually have that permission yet. So that's something on my radar. Otherwise, again, kind of the second week into the team, still listening and kind of orienting. So excited to dig in a little bit deeper today. I will pass it to Ahmad.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I think similar to Lauren, I just want to follow up with any of the pending things that we have going on. And then like the two main things on my mind are the donor course to basically push it past the finish line, and the content strategy that we discussed a little bit yesterday, but just to see how we can practically implement it. I mean, in the newsletter and across all of the other channels that we talked about. All right, let me pass it to Benz.
Yeah, my intentions today are to follow up on those couple items. Donor course, the POAP for that course, and yeah, traveling more. This is a bad month. I apologize to everyone.
Looks like you dropped off.
Yeah, let's. Oh, you want to finish, Ben? Oh. Wow. Okay, let's pass it to Elizabeth.
Hi guys, my intentions for the week are to catch up on the issues and where we at, and distractions, just some construction work going on over here. I'll pass it to Griff.
GM, my intentions are just to hang out and chill, and distractions will be many. Definitely say my name if you want my attention. I'll probably be working on other things, but like catching up on DMs. But definitely always fun to, if I can make this call, I do. I'll pass it to Giant Kin.
I knew you were going to do that. My intent is also to hang out and listen and see what's going on. And I'm still distracted because of work. I'll pass it. I think I passed it last time to Jess. So let's go again.
Hi, yes, I think I'm the last one. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so my intentions for this call is to basically be hearing everything it will be discussed in this meeting and be more involved. And yeah, I think I don't have any distractions now. And also I think I'm the last one, right? Or
yeah, you are. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, so since Sim has to get going, I'd love to give you the floor, Sim. So you wanted to update us or like share things from the strategy meeting, and I'll just pass it to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for those who couldn't join in yesterday, we had a meetup around basically trying to expand on the strategy document that we've been working on that outlines our audience, our channels, and our messages, and trying to now focus on content planning for specific channels that we have agreed are the ones that we should be focusing on as a priority. So we need to have a second call on that because there are quite a few topics that we needed to cover, like focusing on the website, the social, which just as itself has 4 channels, of the newsletter and the blog, and a couple of others that I can't remember. So yesterday we focused on 3. And from those 3, the website, social, and the newsletter and blog, from those, what I was thinking is to have more focused time spent on each of them. We should put together issues, and then have specific meetings around those, and then we can get more practical in terms of the content planning, which I know, Ahmad, you mentioned as well. Like, how are we going to get more? How can we actually start planning? Okay, so what are we going to do from June? Is this going to be the month that we start saying, okay, this is our content pillars for the newsletter? How are we adding to the blog so that we have more content for the newsletters up ahead, and that type of thing? So from my side, that's what I think is the best plan. But happy to hear other thoughts. Is that we should really just have issues around those 3 main topics, being the website, social, and the newsletter or blog. But yeah, what do you guys think from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it would be good to have like people more of like focused effort on each of them. So if it's like we kind of like build more of a team around like supporting and building the Twitter more, and then like supporting in building the newsletter more. Although like as Ahmad mentioned, the newsletter is like right now we're just hitting like top highlights and summary points. So it's sort of like at the end of the month, one time thing, and we do usually cover it in this call. But yeah, like I think. So I don't know, totally open to Ahmad's feedback regarding the newsletter, but having something around the blog I think would be useful too. I feel like right now, we have this blog post that Suga's working on for the Giveth Galaxy, and Elizabeth started working on another blog post that was kind of like more basic level audiences, but it's like we don't have any like major products being released, and I think like strategizing more around like the blog would be as well useful. Yeah, so I think it's a cool idea. I don't want to have more meetings really. I mean, unless we really had to. I feel like we already have way too many meetings. Plus, we don't have like so many like dedicated people on the team. So it's like having people more focused in on the different sections, and then if like another meeting needs to emerge out of that, I think it makes sense. But yeah, we could even like split up our comms meeting into something where it's like, oh, this is the time we talk about the socials for 10 minutes, and we talk about the blog for 10 minutes, and then we cover any other meeting issues. I think we could make this call a little more structured too. Does anyone else have any other feedback or thoughts?
I agree though on not having too many meetings for sure. I think maybe if we just open up the issues then, or if there's people that want to take the lead on those topics. I know, Elizabeth, you were interested in Instagram, for instance, if you wanted to open up the issue on social and start kind of rallying that discussion together, and we put together a plan from that, then, let us know if you've got the capacity to do that. With the website, Ahmad, I know that you had mentioned you were chatting about the analytics to some teams, some of the other people in the team, to see whether we wouldn't use Google Analytics but something else. I don't know if you've got the capacity to take on the website project, for instance. But if someone else also wants to take that on, then we can only then have meetings when it's really necessary. I agree. Definitely don't want to load on the meetings. It was just like, where do we gather to discuss and focus and share ideas on these topics?
I think one question I might have on the website analytics are really regarding the tools that we use. It's my understanding, that Google Analytics is can be somewhat like not kosher because of the types of data it collects. So I guess I'm curious, has there been discussion around a tool that we could use that's kind of privacy preserving, given that's a value of the greater kind of crypto ecosystem?
We briefly discussed it yesterday. We don't have a solution yet, but it is something that we are thinking about. I mean, if you have any suggestions, let us know. I mean, for us, like the main goal is just to track what are, I mean, all of the work that we're doing across all of like the comms team, is it working or not? And is it making more people start to donate or not? I mean, that's like the main question that we need to answer. If that could be done with a simple tool or a simple maybe JavaScript snippet, maybe that would be an easy solution. We might be able just to use segment what we currently have and just maybe send like a segment event into some platform. Like it might like just be as simple as that. Yeah, but it is something that we are thinking about. And yeah, we do like need to find a solution for it.
Okay. I've used plausible analytics in the past, plausible.io. Maybe that's something to explore. Could be useful. I think it's privacy. I know it's privacy preserving.
Plausible. Okay, I'll look into it. Yeah, and I think like going off of Sam's question, I think that probably like the major thing that we need to figure out is what is the content calendar for each of these channels. And probably what would make sense is every month if we have areas of focus for each of the personas that we mentioned in the doc, then we figure out, you know, where to post for each of those content pieces that we want to get out. So, I mean, like we mentioned yesterday in the call, maybe on Twitter, it's not the best place to post like the 101 type of content, but maybe we could post some of it on the blog or Instagram or somewhere else. But I think, yeah, like probably just as a simple starting point, I would say this month, let's maybe choose a few pieces of content that we want to push out. And then, you know, start on each of the channels that we talked about.
Yeah, what I can also do is put together a like a mock calendar, build up what we had included in that presentation yesterday, and we start slotting in what is already planned into that calendar, and then seeing where the gaps are and filling it, and just passing that link around, and getting thoughts on it, and then having that brainstorm. I really like the idea of having like a content brainstorm once a month. I think as long as we've got those calendars, then we've got those specific sections that we can look at and see where the gaps are, what we need to fill.
I think that we already have a draft of that somewhere, right, Lauren? Like we made a content calendar like a few weeks ago, so we could use that as a starting point.
Okay,
We
awesome.
do. It's in. You can find it in the GitHub. I think I closed the issue. Oh no, it's right here. Elizabeth made it. It's like a spreadsheet.
What was it for? Social, or was it just general content that we could cover in weeks or months?
So it was done more focused on the content, and then there were like columns where you basically said, where do you want to post it? So, I mean, this one was just Twitter and the newsletter, but we could add the other channels here. And we could customize this, of course. I mean, this was just like what we thought in the beginning, but we could mold this to be more in line with the growth plan.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
if we added
Awesome.
if we added more channels onto there, then that would be nice. And we could also like add in a column that's like which level audience, if it's like the 101, 201, 301, I think that's useful. And then, be creating something for each group and then writing where we post it. I think that's a good idea.
Cool. Sounds good. This is a great start. This is perfect.
Yeah, cool. So I'll put that in the notes. Let's see.
if we can use that as our central calendar, and we really just create sheets if we want to break out into, what we're doing on the blog versus the newsletter versus the social, and maybe even the social month to month, so we can see, or we want to have a collective view, then we can just see what works best with that. Sometimes I know with the different channels, a content calendar gets very chaotic easily, so we can just see what works best. Okay, so I'm just trying to think in terms of the next action points of creating issues for these. Is there anyone that would want to lead the discussion on the content planning in general, or on social specifically? Otherwise I can fit it in. It just might take a little bit longer because my time is a bit stretched at the moment.
I'm happy to support you. I just really don't have a lot of bandwidth for like new planning and creation. But yeah, but I think we could start by doing like content brainstorming. Like we could just make it simpler at the beginning. Like Ahmad was mentioning, we like pick 2 or 3 things, make sure they're hitting our different audiences, start to put them in the content calendar, and then like, not make it too overwhelming, and start adding to it incrementally.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. If there isn't a content planning issue, then I'll create one, because right now there's a marketing strategy one, but that's kind of overarching, and the content planning is more practical. So I can start that. Ahmad, if you're still happy to do the website, then I think that really helps. And then basically those 3 topics are covered in those 2 issues.
Yeah, for sure. I can help that, with that part. I mean, it's mainly on like the tooling, which I think is relatively straightforward. So yeah.
We can also ask like the devs, like the development team, like about like whatever types of analytics things that we want to implement, because I bet you they'll have some ideas too. I mean, the fact that it's plausible.io makes me think, oh, it's .io, so it's must be good. It's like Giveth.
Yeah.
Magic. That's the way that that's the good ending for websites. But anyway, so maybe that's a cool tool, or maybe like Mateo knows something and maybe Mohammed knows something that they're using that would kind of suit our purposes. I don't actually really understand like analytics. It's like, so we want to be tracking like where people are coming from, or like what are we going to do with this information, and what do we really need?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's basically probably 2 things we would want to see. I mean, number 1 is, what do they do when they're on the website? Like, where do they go? And how long do they stay on the website? And what do they actually do? Like, do they make donations? Do they drop off? I mean, what exactly happens? Like, that's probably like the biggest thing. And then like the other side of it is, where did they come from? Which maybe not be, yeah, I mean, it's probably not as important, but it would help us define our strategy better if we have a sense of where the traffic is coming from. And that usually can easily be found just by looking at what domain referred them, in the very least. So like maybe there's an easy way just for us to look at, on a high level, like what channel did they come from?
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, and you've already looked into this a little bit, Ahmad, or you want to look into it a little bit more?
Yeah, so I mean, I know what needs to be done. Like the only question is, what tool is the best way? Should we do it in a custom way just with JavaScript, or is there like a open source tool that has less baggage than Google Analytics? So I guess, yeah, I mean, it's just figuring that out basically.
Okay. Cool.
So I have a call tomorrow with some of the dev guys, so I can bring it up with them and I'll see what they say.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so content planning issue. Ahmad's gonna look into analytics. Anything else? Maybe should we do a little content brainstorming right now, or do you have something else, Tim, that you want to pass on to us?
No, that was the biggest things, was just discussing those issues. So nothing else.
Cool. Nice. Okay, well, while we're on the topic, I would love to just like take a moment to be like, hey, what blog posts do you think would be really valuable for Giveth to put out? Maybe we could just kind of like have like a quick like brainstorming like in this space, like take like 5 minutes for it, because I think it would be really valuable. Like, so we have Giveth Galaxy coming out soon, which is going to be explaining like all the different orgs in the ecosystem and how they relate, which is I think going to be really helpful for not necessarily like total crypto newbies, but kind of like 201 level audiences of like people who are just getting to know the blockchain for a good ecosystem and then want to know like what are all these people doing and like what are they even talking about. That's kind of the focused audience. So that's a 201 level thing. We also have the donor onboarding course, which Elizabeth is working on a blog post for, right, Elizabeth? Well, I'm pretty sure she is. There's an issue for it, and we have that going to be coming out soon. So that's really kind of like hitting our 201 audience.
I couldn't unmute my computer.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm adding like screenshots and graphics to make it more visually attractive.
Nice, cool. And so that could kind of hit our 101 level. And like we're working on this crazy like Rari Pool Angel Vault stuff, which probably is gonna warrant a blog post coming pretty soon when we launch it. So that can be like 301 level, but that I don't think will be coming anytime soon. So I would love to just kind of like open up this space as to like, do you guys have any like ideas or things in Giveth that like we're working on that we should communicate outwardly, or I think like, you know, our lower level audiences are like untapped, so kind of like specific pieces to like the 101 or 201 level audiences.
I have a question. That Giveth Galaxy content, is that not one that we would be able to build out and create another couple of articles from?
I mean, I think we totally can. Like, Suga's working on it. It's like the way it's written is like, I mean, it's like, what is the Giveth Galaxy? Who are all these orgs? And then you kind of like go on an adventure and learn a little bit about like the missions and kind of like what each of the orgs are doing and how they're related. So we could expand on it, and she had written it with a lot of like history in it before, and it was just like very long. So we're trying to condense it and make it a little bit easier, but we could launch like posts that are like highlighting the history elements of the different orgs, which I think is like interesting stuff, but I'm not really sure like how much it would really help our audience. So I don't know, open to it. And I don't know, open to your ideas, Suga. Oh, you're on mute.
Tim, oh dear, I'm moving slowly. My computer's moving slowly. Tim, maybe this is totally, you can't answer this, but what do you mean, expand? Yeah, I don't know. Like Lauren was saying, it's kind of going the other direction. It has, in theory, what I wrote was like 3 times as long, and it has tons of historical information. So it's not, but I guess I should probably, I mean, I just need to push it out, and then that way, or even you should just go look at it, and if it inspires some other offshoot, then that's fabulous. But from my perspective, I've got the historical bug.
Okay, cool. I was thinking when you said Giveth Galaxy that it was like, yeah, how everything fits in, kind of what Lauren was saying. And then I was thinking if you're doing an overview of how everything fits in, and then maybe more content could come from that to explain a little bit more about a certain part. So that basically through these articles, we could take people, newbies, or like 101s or 201s, through a Giveth rabbit hole, because everyone gets lost in the rabbit hole of this crypto, decentralization, DAOs, all sorts.
That sounds like a blog post right there, the Giveth rabbit hole.
Yeah. And
I like it. You're right.
So maybe even being, I mean, all of these are very new terms for people, and there's new people entering this space every day. Maybe it would even be doing some things that are, say, not spelling everything out, but, you know, I'm a fairly new person to this space. Maybe I just need to ask some of my, what I would consider really simple questions, and maybe they could be blog posts for other people. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, there's definitely a lot of things. So it's like kind of like a beginner's FAQ. That's kind of a cool idea. But it would be really great. Maybe we can make an issue or like a document on that, and then it's like Sim, whenever you have a question and you're like, I didn't understand this coming into the space, you could put it in that doc, and then it's like we could answer that question, and also like someone could write this. It doesn't have to be you who would write it. It could be somebody who would write it, who would like actually create that content for people who probably have similar questions. I don't even know what the questions are anymore. I'm like, I don't know. What's the fuse Rari tried?
Yeah, I like that. Maybe we can just have like a central document, and even people that are just entering in as brand new contributors, we can show them that as like an onboarding thing, and just say questions that you think you're embarrassed to ask, just write them down. Don't be embarrassed, because we actually use that as great content, because everyone here is just learning about the space more and more, and people that are in it for a couple of months already forget how little they knew in the beginning, and those basic questions that people are feeling when they first read about this. So they come from a philanthropic background, but all of this is brand new to them. How can we answer their questions before they have to even know the question themselves? Yeah, that's a cool idea. Like a basic FAQ document. So that's an idea for, we can get ongoing content from there.
Yeah, I think that's a
like
great idea. So, okay, I created an issue for it. I think that's a really good idea, and we can kind of like create a Google Doc and like add it into there. Yeah, and then if anybody here like maybe after you finish writing the Giveth Galaxy blog post and you want to take on another writing thing, Suga, or if Elizabeth or Benz or Todd or anybody wants to take on a writing thing, could just take ownership of this issue, and then also just like do a little cat herding on it, like pushing people to add questions to it, and then sort of like having a piece come organically out of that. I'm like looking at the room of people, and I'm like, I'm not sure anyone here has like the bandwidth to take on writing a blog post at this moment, but would be great if someone could. That would be great. I think that's a great idea. Cool. I'm satisfied. Yeah. I'm satisfied with that brainstorm. Does anyone else, or unless anyone else has something else to add? Sorry.
I would say there might be some things that we can do with the Connect working group around like projects, because they started to interview some projects and get feedback from them. So we might be able to figure out a format where they interview a project and then we can basically turn their notes into a blog post. So like it wouldn't be much work, and it would basically just be sort of like a long testimonial, basically, like about Giveth, you know. So like they could like tell us what they like about the platform, and yeah, so sort of something like that maybe.
Yeah, I think that's really good. You know what we really need is a little more. We need like because there's a lot of people in this call who are in the Connect working group. I think we need kind of like a dedicated liaison who like makes sure they go to both calls and creates issues, and like, because right now it's like I feel like we're getting a little bit into crossover territory, but instead of just like crossing over and like doing redundant work or not supporting each other, we could create a little bit more integration. So yeah, Does anyone here who's like also like really involved or interested in the Connect working group want to kind of take like responsibility for just like in their brain for relaying those messages back and forth? Okay. Well.
Yeah, I'm in both groups, but I can't ever make it to their meetings, so I just kind of catch up with Melody offline sometimes. Yeah, so I wouldn't be a best liaison for that.
If it's just for task, I can do it. I mean, if it's just about like relaying information.
Yeah, make sure, so like if there's something that comes up for them that becomes like a comms issue, make sure that an issue is created about it, and then it also like kind of comes to the attention of like people in this call for QA or for writing or something. Because like they can also write blog posts, but if they're writing blog posts, like we should know about it so we can like add it to our content calendar and like do some planning around it, and we don't do redundant things. Cool. Thanks, Ahmad. Great. Let's talk about the donor course so we can kind of like get that out the door. So Giveth Donors 101. So Ahmad, were you able to like go through the edits that Suga suggested in the Google Doc there?
Yeah, it's just some of them needed me to re-edit some of the videos. So I'm currently working on that. All of like the stuff I could easily do, I already did, but yeah, some of it needs me to go and change certain things. So yeah, I mean, we could launch it as it is and like just keep changing as we go, or I mean, we could wait a little bit longer and fix some of those issues.
Okay.
Because some of them might need me to re-record certain parts.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. And but it was like all like you thought that it was. I looked through the doc and the edits made sense. Do you think that it needs any more QA, or is it like that's enough? Because if you're going to be like recording certain parts, maybe it would be valuable to have someone else take one more look at it before you actually go through that work.
Yeah.
Or maybe you think it's thorough enough.
I mean, yeah, like there's different ways of thinking about it. I mean, one way is to think of it more like a living document, kind of a course where it's like we're constantly making changes to it, which I think is how it's going to be because I mean we constantly make changes on Giveth, so I think we will need to update it in a couple of months anyway. So I think if we're satisfied with where it is, where it's like 90% there, then I think we should just launch it. And just keep making changes as we go.
Okay. Sounds great. So Elizabeth, what's the status with this blog post that you've been working on? Would you be able to like post a link to your draft in there just so that like Ahmad or I could have a look and make sure you're on the right track?
Yeah, for sure. I have been adding some screenshots and graphics to like make it a visual tutorial. But I'll send the link so you can check it out.
Yeah, send the link so we can check it out. Cool. So blog post. Yeah, because I don't think you need to like explain every video in the blog post. Kind of like more just like introducing it and kind of like a little bit of like what you'll learn. I would try to make it like not too long and more like hyping up like the video series and inviting people to check it out instead of like having to include every video.
Okay, I'll take that in mind.
Okay, cool. And then so once you share the link to review, definitely tag me and Ahmad. And does anyone else wanna have eyes on that?
Sure.
And Suga. Cool.
Super. I'll tag you.
Great. And then oh shit, Ben's is gone.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask him about like the POAP.
Me too. Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to jump off. Oh, sorry.
Oh, thanks, Sim.
Thanks. I'll catch up on later. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Well, so POAP, don't know. Quiz, done. Right?
There was one question in the quiz that we were debating, which is the one about the give backs.
Yeah.
So
I think we
yeah.
should take it
Okay.
Let's just take it out. I mean, it could be instead something like more general or philosophical. It's like, something more general, kind of like when you donate, like what is give backs? And it's like, could be like a multiple choice with like, I once made a one hive trivia and I made some questions. Yeah. And it was like, what is give backs? And I had like something. I had like some fake ones. A governance token, a program where donors to verify projects are rewarded with give. I'll send you this link.
But I loved that question. Can you guys not hear me? Or you're just ignoring me?
We can hear you. Hear you now.
Oh shoot! I was voicing my protest. Oh well, that's fine. That's fine. I just really loved the idea that it was making the expression of how large that we're talking about, the one with the 75%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess y'all have decided. I just really like that one because it's such a large number. It's super impressive.
But
it's nice to, but I know it's confusing. It's confusing. Okay. I'm
like,
done.
yeah, maybe it's 75%, but it's like, are you really getting 75% back? That's just like, it's a variable we use to calculate the amount that we add partially to the token distro. It's like, I think,
okay.
We started by talking about it, but yeah, Griff is going to disagree with me.
This is the most important thing we as a comms team can figure out. Hands down. There's a whole lot of wrong ways to describe this. What's the right way? Like, if we can't use a 75% number, what do we say? Because this is the best pitch for donations, and we have to figure out how to do it. It should be top priority because, like, otherwise, why would anyone donate? There's too much ambiguity.
Yes, and it exists as a concept, and as you just said, we need to be able to know how to explain it. We can't ignore it. Like, we can't not explain it because we haven't figured out how to explain it, which is what you just said. Sorry, bye.
Yeah, I mean, how this would be a great question. Like, how much givebacks do you get when you donate? And then let's see what answers we get. I mean, it could be A, B, C, and then D is all of the above, and all three are like, well, it depends on when you collect.
Oh, that's funny.
Who fucking knows? The gift price is volatile. You get 75% back. Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, a mod created a great assignment for checking to see if potentially new hires are good at Giveth stuff. And the assignment was exactly this, like try to explain the 75% thing better, like explain the givebacks thing a little better. But yeah, I think it's really worthwhile also just like putting it into our team. And I know you don't have, I don't know how your bandwidth is, Todd, but maybe this would be something you'd be interested in because you're good at, like, you're a good systems thinker and a good like visual thinker, and you have technical understanding. So it might be a great thing. And the way givebacks works is you donate, and we take that US dollar value of your donation at the time of donation, and we hold on to it until the time when we're distributing givebacks. And then we give an amount of give, which at the time we distribute it is 75% of the value of your donation when you donated it. So it's like 75% of that US dollar value when you donated it. But part goes into the token distro, which is added to your give stream, flowing out over time, and part is claimable immediately. So say you're getting like $75 worth, or 75 give back, or 100 give back or something. 16% is liquid right now. You actually only get 16 give claimable, and then the other like 84 give is like streaming out over time for the next 5 years. So if the price of give goes up, then it's like you're actually, like, if the price of give goes to $1 and when you donate, when we distributed it was only 10 cents, it's like you're actually getting more money back in give tokens than you originally donated. But the price of give dumps, then you're getting less than that 75% value. But it also depends on, like, you could sell some of the give at any time or trade it for any stuff. And so it's like, it's playing the volatile crypto money game. And so the 75% thing is just used to calculate the amount that we send out. And I explained it in the docs in a really gross way. I called it like cumulative total givebacks. And anyway, if you could, like, while you're thinking about things, think of some way of explaining this better, or even some visual, it would be super helpful for us. Like, it's like we always talk about it and we're always confused.
But I don't think that the question is terrible the way we had it. The modified version, Griff, I don't know if you saw it, but where you just said, Ahmad, how much do you get back with your givebacks? A, 5%, B, 10%, C, 15%, D, and then it was something like up to 75%, or
But
roughly
it depends
75%.
on blah blah blah. Yeah.
But just short like that. Like, what if it just said up to 75%?
Yeah, but it's not even up to. Up to is the wrong word. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
actually
Damn
make
it.
money donating. You can make money donating. Especially right now with the give price so low. Donate right now. Get fat stacks of give. Give price to $1.
I made a slide about it, and I used this to explain givebacks to fundraisers. This is the slide. And it's like, Alice donates $100 of give. This is like her claimable give minus 333 give. The price of give is 30 cents. She's like at a net minus $100 value. Then when givebacks are distributed, she's getting 75% of that 333. But part of it's claimable now, part of it's streaming over time. The value is $75. The value that she has in her token distro and not. And then it's like, over time, after her give stream runs, if she doesn't sell any of the give and the give price goes up to $1, she actually has a US dollar value of $250 because the give token price like tripled. So, she donated $100, she got $250. So it's like, I made this to try to explain it. And the fundraisers liked it. It was good. But I think, 75% is just like a weird number that like influences these numbers.
$75% of the value of donations in give tokens streamed over 5 years.
But Griff, it's like 75% of the value of your donation at the time that you donated it, but the value of give is calculated some weeks later after we've reviewed givebacks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can't even check the price of give and then be like, I'm going to get this much give tokens back when you donate, like, because you don't even really know when we're going to distribute those givebacks.
75% of the value of your donation at the time of donation in give at the time of distribution streamed over 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, but that's not nice.
And that's what we say.
Nailed it.
Maybe we say. Maybe
exactly.
we say.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
No, you like it, Surya?
We got to say something. We got to tell them what it is.
75% of the value of your donation at the time of donation, calculated in give at the time of distribution, streamed over 5 years.
Perfect. And then we just say like A is 15%, B is 100%.
No, don't say 100%. Keep them low. Like expected percents, like 5, 10, 15, or even 25. 10, 15, 25. And it's like, no, buddies, listen up. You're getting stacks of give.
Big stacks.
It should just be stacks of give. That's all. No numbers.
Yeah.
Just like
Stacks.
10%, 15%, D, stacks.
Fat stacks.
Stacks and streams.
Stacks. Okay. Well, I'm going to make an issue for that. Ahmad, do you mind to maybe put, or I could actually, I think you sent it to me. It would be cool to put the assignment in this issue because it had all the links and everything together. So it's like, create a new way of, okay. How do we communicate the amount of givebacks the user gets.
You can add me to this one as well. I'll now have a few issues assigned to me, so I'll start to explore it when I have some time. But if anybody else wants to jump in with me and do some word exploration, I'd appreciate the support.
Yeah, tag me on that, you know.
Can I share this doc, Ahmad? Or is it private? Oh yeah, only people added can.
I can make a public version of it that doesn't have anyone's information on it.
Oh yeah, great. That would be better.
Okay, I'll share it with you now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Give me a few minutes.
Cool. Okay. So okay, that was the last remaining question on the donor quiz that we need to sort out. But we didn't have a straight answer. I guess well, I don't know. Okay, you could use what Griff was just saying to explain it, at the value of your donation at the time of distribution streamed over 5 years with those added disclaimers. And then just the percentages below. That might be cool. Does that make sense, Ahmad?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Anything else on the donor course that we're blocked by?
No, mainly just the POAP and the quiz and all of that.
Yeah. So last week, we had the quiz, which is QA. The last pass is done. QA, the video is done. POAP, we will check in with Ben's tweet thread announcement I can do on the spot. Elizabeth, we're blocked by the blog post, so whenever you can post that, that would be great, especially even the draft. And then Ahmad, you're going to create an email, and we were going to share it with the Connect working. That's all. So I'll make an issue for the email. Email draft email for donors 101. Why get those? Why?
I just sent you Lauren that project assignment thing.
Great.
You can add it.
Cool. Nice. Oh no, that's not where I want to put it. Cool. Okay. What else have we got? Check in on Gitcoin projects outreach and onboarding. Oops. Do you have any updates on that, Suga? Or Todd? update.
outreach email, right? That we hadn't been able to.
Connection issues. But yeah, I do have that outreach email ready for you, Laura, for your review.
Oh,
Look at
sorry.
that. I think it was just today, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just earlier today.
Cool. Nice. Okay, cool. What else? Okay, I guess there's no other updates on that. That's kind of like all we have on the agenda. So I'll check. Let's just check through the board because I mean, the board is getting to be crazy. Every time I go in here and I'm like, oh yeah, we still have that. It's still there.
There was something that I think Griff could help us out with on the medium. There was something we wanted to do with the subdomain that I think is in his court now.
Yes, there was, and I have not looked at that issue. Thank you.
I think Kai, like Kai added like the subdomain, so I think like you just have to click next. I think it should be done.
Yeah, I tried to click next, and then it was like, hey, this is wrong, and I had to remove the http:// thing, and so that's where I got stuck. But I have to go back and just see if he mentioned what he said in the issue. Because if I hit next, I worry we might kill the medium.
Yeah, like you don't want that.
Yeah, if it's not set up right. So I just haven't double checked. I'll double check right now.
Okay. Okay, well, we only have 5 minutes left. Are there any other like pressing things that anybody wants to talk about? Okay. I guess we could just like quickly scan through the board here for anything else or any questions on people's issues. Comms onboarding guide, emails, token swaps, tweet thread. I mean, there's just like a lot of things on here that kind of like people took on and then didn't finish, and then. But I think like how's everyone's bandwidth in the call? I'm not sure that there's really any space for anyone to take on like more issues this week. Is there? No, cool. Okay, well, I think we could honestly just end the call instead of trying to like pull teeth with like assigning issues no one has space for.
Is there? I have a new contributor. Is there a extroverted task that would be easy for someone who knows nothing?
I can review the board and try to find something. Nothing off the top of my head, but there's so much on here, and I just forget about it all the time, so it's too much to keep track of.
Okay, cool.
What do you mean by extroverted task?
I mean, this girl is extremely extroverted. She's like, I think she'll probably do some like donor client relations thing. So just like, yeah, if it were something cat herding kind of task or something like that, I mean, it can also just be something that's good for a noob, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Cat herding, talking to people, or just something newbie friendly?
It definitely has to be newbie friendly no matter what.
Okay, for sure. Cool. Okay, anything last pressing moments? Cool. Okay, well, I think that we can end the call then. Thanks everybody for joining, and yeah, we'll just check in async if there's any issues on any issues.
Thanks
everyone.
Lauren.
Thanks everyone. Have a good one.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
See ya.